About 12 hours before the storms developed, Environment and Climate Change Canada issued its morning thunderstorm outlook. It showed a possibility of large hail, damaging winds, and heavy rain across central and west central Alberta on Monday afternoon, then stretching up to northeastern portions of the province overnight. This is due to a deepening trough and cold front moving through the area. By noon, the dew points were already rising well above the 55-degree mark. 55 degrees is considered favorable for thunderstorms, and the cold front began to push east. Once the cold front interacted with the hot, unstable air, thunderstorms began to develop east of the QE2. Around 6 o'clock, I arrived in Camrose and then headed south. To my south, there were two strengthening thunderstorms, and although the radar showed two weak velocity couplets, I was convinced that the main risk in these specific thunderstorms is going to be hail. And oh boy, was I right. Whoa! Okay, here we go. Here we go again, folks. Large hail covering the ground. Hail covering the ground. Whoa! Okay, this is severe hail here. I'm gonna get to the north of the main hail core, make a report, and then we're gonna see after that. Yeah, the hail core, it's just to my. Okay, no, we're in the hail core, folks. This is the hail core. Big hail, covering the road. Holy crap! After producing up to Toonie-sized hail, this storm started to lose steam. But directly to the south, there were some small thunderstorms that were starting to get organized into a line, which then very quickly started to intensify. So I started driving south to intercept the new line of thunderstorms. Purple lightning, purple. That's right, purple lightning here, folks. Now, driving from the other smaller supercells that were moving northeast, I actually had to start driving south to the new developing storms. And as I started to drive south, the radar was showing that it was strengthening very quickly into something called a squall line. A squall line is a line of strong thunderstorms that develop along a cold front or out to the boundary of another thunderstorm. A very fancy term to say a long line of storms that can produce very strong wind gusts. And we recorded some extremely high rain wind gusts in this storm. So much lightning. When I turned left to head south, I started to get hit with the first gusts from this storm, which was still intensifying. I started to drive south when the winds just kept on getting stronger and stronger. My hands were shaking, and I could feel my truck being pushed around on the road. This is intense. 118 km/h wind gusts. At this point in the storm, I was recording an 80 km/h sustained wind, which is extremely strong. Now, when you're driving and you have an anemometer on your truck, when you're moving, it's going to be recording that speed not only of the storm, but also of your moving. So if you're driving at 20 kilometers an hour, but there's an 80 km/h headwind, you're going to be getting 100 km/h wind gusts. That's why a lot of the times when I was driving in this storm, I slowed and stopped to take readings. At one point further on in the storm, we reported a 124 km/h wind gust, which almost blew my truck off the road. That is stronger than an EF0 tornado. Well, not stronger, but it is in the category of an EF0 tornado. Not severe thunderstorm warrant? I gotta turn around. The guy can't stay in here. Guys, 73 now. Wow. After the main front of the storm passed me, it did start to weaken. I drove back, I kind of drove around and circled in front of it on Highway 21 in Alberta. But it was weakening at that point. It was mostly just producing lightning. At this point, most of the thunderstorms have weakened below severe limits, and I decided to go home. On my way home, I did see a small fog cloud, but unfortunately, none of the videos that I took of it were very good, so I can't put them on here. I could, but I don't really want to. So thank you folks for listening and watching our video here. I spent a lot of time making it, so if you are here right now listening to me, thank you so much for watching all the way through. Stay tuned. This is looking like a wild storm season up in Canada here, so we're going to be chasing a lot more. We're going to be doing more live streams and more long videos like this. If you like what you see, you can thumbs up or subscribe. I don't really care. But this is Aaron signing off.